Do you constantly find yourself running from one thing to another without time to think? Do you pack your schedule so it's 100% full? Today, I'm going to explain to you why you need Slack and give you 4 techniques for building more Slack into your schedule. So this month, Farnam Street published on their blog a great article called Efficiency is the Enemy. And it talks why we need Slack to be effective in our work. And when we remove Slack, when we try to be too efficient, we actually wind up being less effective because of that. And so today I wanted to talk about Slack, what it is, why you need it, and give you 4 techniques for adding more Slack into your schedule. So first, what is Slack? Slack is when you have nothing to do, when you have nothing planned, when you are 0% busy. Now, in today's world, that might seem a little counterintuitive. Why would I be 0% busy? That means I'm not being as effective as I can be. However, by having this time when you don't have anything to do or when you don't have anything scheduled to do, it allows you to think more deeply. It allows you to step back from the constant rat race, the constant moving forward, and take a longer term view. It allows you to stop doing and start planning. So one of the things this creates is a virtuous cycle, where if you can create Slack in your schedule, that gives you some time where you can actually start then planning more effectively, making smarter decisions around how you use your time, which will then give you more time to make smarter decisions. Conversely, if you're not building any Slack into your schedule, and you're jumping from one thing to another and not taking the time to plan, then you most likely are not using your time effectively, and you're creating this downward spiral where the busier you get, the busier you feel, and that makes you feel like you can't take time to plan to get out of that cycle. And that's a fallacy. You need to make the time to plan and create Slack in your schedule so you can start creating that upward spiral. And this has a foundation in our psychology as well. When we don't create enough Slack, when we try to book ourselves up to 100%, what happens is we create a scarcity mindset. We feel like we don't have enough time, we don't have enough money. And when resources are scarce, our brain switches into this tunnel vision mode, and it just tries to get through it. And so it forces us not to be able to see the big picture. And when we can't see the big picture, we can't do the effective planning that lets us actually get out of that cycle. Today, I want to teach you 4 techniques for building Slack progressively into your schedule so you can start getting more time so you can start making better decisions. And what Slack will give you is it gives you responsiveness and flexibility. Once you have Slack in your schedule, you can be more flexible. You can respond to people faster, more effectively. And that will then create an upward spiral in your life and your business. So the first technique is called buffers. And it's very simple, is you need to schedule buffer time into your day. So if you are actually building a schedule, I want you to actually schedule a time called buffer in your day, where you actually just schedule into that time slot buffer. And what this allows you to do is it puts sort of like shock absorbers throughout your day, so that if you get behind schedule, you can just quickly absorb into that buffer. And if you don't get behind schedule, you can take that buffer time to recharge and think more about your future tasks and plan more effectively. Switch it into a planning time. So that's the first technique, is schedule into your day buffers. So the second technique is called bumpers. And I talked about this in a previous video called using bumpers to manage flow. And what a bumper is, it's an optional task that you put into your day that if your day goes awry, you can skip. So it gives you flexibility within your day, but still allows you to say, I'm going to try to do this if my day goes well. So this technique can work really well if you're not yet at the point of scheduling buffers in your day. If you feel like you need to schedule your day to 100%, at least start going through your list of what you want to do that day and marking some of those tasks as optional, marking them as bumpers. And then if your day doesn't go as planned, skip over those tasks. So see what it feels like to not get everything done, but to not get everything done because you planned in advance what you're going to skip. And so use this technique, bumpers, to start introducing that concept of slack and flexibility into your schedule. And then once you're comfortable, then you can start adding actual full buffer times. So the third technique is to allocate more time. And what I mean by this is when you start thinking of what you need to do in the day and how much time each thing will take, allocate more. Like if I think something is going to take 15 minutes, go ahead, allocate 20 minutes or half an hour. If I think it's going to take a half an hour, put it to 45 minutes. Allocate more, not just to give you time to do that task, but also to build catch-up time into your schedule or your plan. So for instance, I try to meditate every single day, but meditation, depending on the day, only takes me 5 to 10 minutes. I always allocate 15 minutes. That gives me this extra 5 minutes of slack in my day, or up to 10 minutes of slack in my day. So if things aren't quite going to plan, I can just use that to absorb that. I'll also do that with other tasks where I'll allocate an extra 15 minutes or extra half an hour to a task. So if I think it's going to take half an hour, I'll allocate it as 45 minutes. And if the task doesn't go to plan, I might use up that whole 45 minutes. Or even if I am able to do it in those 30 minutes, other tasks in my day may not go to plan, and I can use that as an additional buffer in our day. So building slack into your task allocations can really help throughout your day. So the fourth technique is simply to schedule less. Too often we try to schedule our day 100%. We try to schedule out every minute of our day. Or we try, if we're not using a schedule, we put so much on our task list that our entire day is packed just with those tasks. We don't have any extra bandwidth in our day. We need to create that extra bandwidth. That allows us to have flexibility in our day, so when things don't go to plan, we can respond accordingly. And then if things do go to plan, we have extra time for thinking, for daydreaming, for doing necessary planning work, and not necessarily always doing work. And by taking that extra time, we can plan our time more effectively. So it's useful to think and say, I'm only going to try to plan my day to 60% or 80%. I really wouldn't recommend going above 80%. But ideally, if you can do 60%, then you've got this 40% buffer that you can flex on. And if things go to plan and you do your planning time and you still have some extra time, you can always do more work. But it is much less stressful on your body, on your productivity, if you actually have that buffer. You will have an abundance mindset rather than a scarcity mindset, which will help you make better decisions on how you use your time, and you'll start going into this upward spiral of productivity. So key to that is don't schedule 100% of your day. Now, one technique for this is to schedule your day to end earlier than you plan to stop working. So if you work, say, from 9 until 6, plan to stop working at 4, that gives you an extra 2-hour buffer in there. So if you block out all your time and you know, I have all the time to work until 4 o'clock, now I've got 2 hours buffer. I still use those techniques of scheduling buffers within the day and using bumpers as optional tasks, as well as allocating extra time, because often things don't go to plan, especially when you are a creator or someone who is a solopreneur juggling multiple tasks that you haven't really done before. And so it's really hard to estimate how long these tasks are going to take. To recap, slack is critical for you to be more effective in what you do. If you don't actually build slack into your lifestyle, into your schedule, into your work, you'll be working at 100%. You'll have a scarcity mindset, which will cause you to make the wrong decisions or not as many of the right decisions, which will then only make you feel more overwhelmed, and you'll be going into a downward spiral. So figuring out how to add slack into your day, into your week, can help you gain more time to stop to do planning work, and then to start thinking about how to use your time more wisely. It will also change your brain chemistry to where you'll be able to do more long-term thinking, stop having tunnel vision, so you'll actually be making better decisions. The 4 techniques I taught today to create more schedule in your day were buffers, bumpers, allocate more time, and schedule less. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions about Slack or how to create more Slack in your day, please leave a comment below, or just leave a comment to tell me you enjoyed the video and what you got out of it. If you like this video, please click like and share it with your friends. It helps me reach more people with this message and helps more people get more effective in their day. I will post the link to Efficiency is the Enemy, the article that inspired this from Farnam Street, in the comments below, in the description below. Finally, if you like the content of this channel, I please encourage you to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button, and then if you click the bell, you can mark to receive all the videos. Thank you so much, and have a productive day.